talking about failure or apparent failure and how that can set you up for later success. And what role does failure play in success in your view? And perhaps there's a lesson you've had from a certain failure that perhaps was a step in the right direction towards a later success that maybe you can share.
I was assigned one time as a student as a leader of a theater group. I lived in a student dorm. It was like more like a old German officer villa that had been turned into student dorms in Trondheim, and they had a yearly event they called Helga. It's like the weekend. And there was a yearly weekend of partying and cultural things that happened, and it was going to be a role play, a theater set up and played for all the people who came. I wanted to try out acting, Never done that before, so why not give it a go? And I just kind of, okay, can I join the theater group? Yeah. And I was the new guy, and somehow they decided I was going to be the leader of it, But
wow.
but I had no idea how do we make it a role play. I had no clue at all. And I think I was a freshman also at the school. I felt a bit like, small and, all these older students. And I thought one guy was a massive guitar player. Another guy was like a singer. And it was like, they had all these talents, I felt they had nothing, So I think I became a bit passive. And they had been making these plays many years before. And they seemed to have some kind of plan. So my leadership was horrible, I'd say. It's like, okay, I just say, let's meet up next Sunday. And we'll see if we have any ideas. There was not much ideas that had happened, and things dragged on. I was a bit busy maybe going to the gym, and, I wasn't all in on this theater thing. I was kind of managing without managing. And then I remember I felt getting close to they were going to perform like, shit, I don't have control. And I barely know all these people, and I think there was one time I realized, shit, I'm off track, because one of the members came to me and criticized me, like, "What are you doing? There's nothing happening here, and there's no organization." And then like, shit, okay, up with my tie. I need to gather the people. We need to make some kind of better plan. We need to assign tasks, and then suddenly it switched on. But I felt. I felt this was a very bad way of introducing myself to all these new people. Apparently, they were frustrated, or some of them were at least. And I think I got my grips on. But I will never forget when that girl came, or fellow student came to me and kind of lashed out at me how horrible my management was. And I think he was right. Yeah. So I've been trying, looking back, like, okay, I can never be as unprepared as that again. I need to be planning things, setting a schedule, timeline, delegating, and follow up. I think I just assumed people did things, but I didn't, So I had to be managing more, not just, let's meet in 2 weeks. No.
Good lessons learned there, yeah. What do you think are the key factors that have contributed to your success? Definitely learning from past failures, as you've mentioned. And perhaps maybe you could share also what has been the most important habit you think that you've developed in your life that also sort of contributed to successful endeavors for you moving forwards.
Yeah, probably one thing could be taking notes. I love notes. If I read something, discuss something with anyone. Could be on a bus, in a grocery store, at work, or somewhere else, in the gym. Meet some people, and I write it down. I can't go around and remember everything. So a calendar and notes, that makes me remember everything, kind of, or it seems like I remember everything. But of course, I wouldn't without these tools. And just sometimes I feel writing things down by hand also helps to kind of orchestrate things in your head, visualize a bit better on paper sometimes. I know we have all these amazing digital tools now, but for me sometimes it helps to get my eyes off the screen and on a piece of paper, just a white big piece of paper I have actually on my desk now as like an A3 sheet of white paper and I write notes there, just like small tasks. And sometimes I go and take a photo of it just not to lose it and stuff. But it's about structure and organizing your time and remembering things. And that was, I think, came very clear to my mind at the university. I saw how my fellow students were doing things. They were so structured, like amazing people, and I learned a lot, I think, indirectly just by watching them. And I think I took on some of the things myself. And yeah, I think that's part of the answer, at least.
Yeah. It's definitely a great way to learn things quickly, to pick up good habits from other people who seem to be on the right track, that you sort of can get inspired by and take on their approaches. Absolutely. We've touched on this briefly earlier, and where we've talked about leadership, and you mentioned your experience from that theater group. What would you say is your philosophy on leadership, and how's that sort of developed over the years?
Oh yeah, it's still developing, you know. And I think you have to, first off, I learned you have to adjust yourself into the environment you operate in, right? So the easy example, on the football pitch, for example, if you're captain there, you have to be a bit like direct and command and give quite straight messages. You don't have time for a lot of discussion, just like short. Same in the military, it's very strict. Time is of the essence. There is some ranks you need to follow, and it's like orders, and that's how it is. But if you work in a volunteer organization or even a political organization, you need to get people to follow you. So then it's like you can't command. No, you can't. Well, maybe some very few occasions, but it's more like making people believe. And I think philosophically, is having people believe in themselves, because every human being is an amazing person. Every colleague, every member of my organization is an amazing asset. Some is good at doing A, some is good at doing B, but we need a full alphabet. And I think setting some audacious goals, some hairy goals maybe, making them believe that if you're a political party, you know, it doesn't make sense that we are like X percentage in voter support. When we talk to people, it seems like every second person we talk to actually agree with our politics. So there is a tremendous potential here. We just need to get ourselves out. The more people we talk to, I'm confident, I know, because I know people like you, Joachim. I know if you go and just hand out our brochures, they're gonna like you, and they're gonna like the way you talk about our politics. So if you do your thing, Joachim, and then Matilda is doing her thing, and then Mike is doing his thing, together we're a team. Are we gonna lift together? So I think that is the way we need to approach things in a political organization, at work, at home. You know, even could be in your home with your kids. You know, you're a team. We can make great experiences together if we go hiking, if we go on vacation, even like making dinner, you know. So I think making people feel they're part of something, and it's not about making them feel they are part of it, you know. And you really, it's not that you should really, but okay, Jan Erik told me I need to make them believe. No, you have to sincerely believe yourself that they will make this work with you. And then I think it comes naturally. So again, back to what I said, just when I started to believe anything is possible myself, based on experiences of my fellow classmates, based on reading books about Barack Obama or anyone else, read any biography. All the famous people you know of started as someone just normal, just like anyone, the next door neighbor. They just decided and set off some direction. So we can do it. We can. It's just about, are you willing to contribute? Are you willing to do the job? Have fun along the way. And yeah, I think that is my leadership philosophy.
Yeah, I love that. I think let's shift gears a little bit. What is one of the best or most worthwhile investments you ever made in terms of time or money?
Money, I don't know. It's could be a simple thing as my watch, to record my health status, like
Sure.
heart rate, kind of watch over me if I don't train. They may start complaining a bit, or even record my, could be push-ups, could be my lap distance, and just like having this little fellow on my hand. That is, I think, it could be a costly watch, but I mean, compared to the health benefits, I think it's one of the best purchases I've made.
Like your own little assistant.
Yeah. Kind of. And then, well, time. I think is a big question. Is at so many levels. I think time you invest with people, because what is really life? For me, it's about experiences, bonds. The world consists of human beings, each with their own little story, decisions, crossroads, something that went wrong, something that went right. I think investing time, getting to know new people, but also getting to know more deeply the people you already care about. I like to talk about what's your favorite football team and stuff like that, but I want to go deeper if possible, and I want to like what really motivates you and why. And talking about failures is interesting because opening up and being a bit fragile and vulnerable is, I think that is just showing strength. And if you are vulnerable and show that you are, share some stories, I think you can even give some comfort to everyone else around you that, okay, it's going to go fine. It's not only you that have challenges, you also have challenges.
And that's how we connect, isn't it?
I think so.
Seeing each other strength and vulnerabilities, and recognizing that we're sort of we're failed beings trying our best at all times, and seeing that there's some commonality in being this fragile being trying.
Yeah, exactly.